Welcome back to the Primitive Camping and Bushcraft podcast. My name's Chris Spear, and I'm going to be your guide to the great outdoors. And this has been a very awesome week, and I have a lot to be thankful for. Last week, as y'all know, was Thanksgiving, and my first grandbaby was born Friday morning at 7:30, little Hudson. And I'm so excited to see him come into the world. It's been a huge blessing. I got to hold him in my hands and lift him up and pray over him and just dedicate him to the Lord. And I just found that to be an amazing experience. And I cried my eyes out just for the first time holding my little grandson. And it was just an amazing little experience. But anyway, we're going to do this today. We're going to do natural filtration systems. We're going to cover the tripod water filter. We're going to cover the Gypsy well or Coyote well. And then the bottle filter. And then after that, we got one more where we're going to do the commercial water filters. And then after that, we're going to get into the fire. So what we're going to do for this Christmas season, guys, is we're going to do this week's. We're going to do next week's. And then after that, we're going to take a break until the new year. And then we'll start off season 2 of the Primitive Camping and Bushcraft podcast. So we got 2 more episodes. We got this one today. We got next week, next Monday. And then after that, we're going to put a pause on it until the end of the year, till the beginning of the new year, and give everybody some time to relax and enjoy their family, especially me. You know, I got the little new grandbaby. It's just showing up and getting to spend some time with him and my son and my daughter-in-law. So, but anyway, without further ado, let's get right into it. So last week we discussed chemical disinfection, where we used some iodine, we used some bleach, and we went out into the woods and we killed all the biological contaminants in there. And as we discussed, this method is not going to get rid of any kind of chemical contaminants. And one of the things about this is that you're adding a chemical, you're putting a chemical in to get rid of chemicals, and it's not going to work that way. Now, hopefully y'all did go and look at some of the other stuff. I'll put some links into the show notes, stuff like that for you guys to go out and check out, especially for the guy from BattleBox and a couple of the others, and then see what they had to offer. You know, otherwise you're not going to beat the Grail. Grail is the way to go. And when you're out in the woods. Now, I will be testing out a new water filtration system. I'm going to be doing that this week. I'm going to be shooting a bunch of videos on that. It's called the ITEHIL, ITEHIL. And it is you charge the unit up, and it has 2 filtration cartridges in it, sort of like a refrigerator, and it does reverse osmosis, and it pretty much sucks the nasty water up, filtrates it, spits out the good stuff. So I'm going to demonstrate that unit in the next one. We'll talk about it as along with the other stuff in the book here. But for today, we're going to go over the natural filtration systems, and we're going to discuss the tripod water filter. Now, one of the most remarkable or recalled, or, you know, the most common kind of water filtration systems that people visualize when they go into the great outdoors, they've seen it in all the survival books, is the tripod water filter. And this dude is pretty cool. And the filtration system there is not meant to actually get rid of all your biological contaminants. It is meant to rid all the soot, all the, not soot, but, you know, the sediment and the all the turbidity and everything out of the water, takes all the tea stain out of the water, and it makes it just crystal clear. And it actually helps improve some of the flavor, but you still have to boil this water, or you have to run it through some kind of commercial water filtration system or chemical disinfection. So that's why we went through all the different aspects of what we did. So, he sent me a picture of the little one. Right now, they just got home today from the hospital. But it's going to be the water filtration systems are going to really substantially improve the quality of the water that you have when you're out on an extended camping trip or whenever you're out in the field and you have no other way to filtrate your water. So now I want to show you something besides the Primitive Camping and Bushcraft book that we've been going over through this whole process. I want to show you the book that really is this particular book right here, Survival, Wisdom, and Know-How. It is a ginormous book. It is, I want to say almost 12 by 14, something like that. It's a big book, and it's slam-packed full of all kinds of stuff in here. But this is what gave me the reading through here is what gave me the idea to do the tripod water filter whenever I was out in the on a camping trip, and then all my water filters clogged up. I remembered reading about this and it telling me, hey, you can make this. So the tripod water filter is exactly what it states. It's a tripod. And let's see here, there it is. It's talking about water purification. And if you could see on the video right here in my hand, you'll see the tripod and the water filtration system there. So, and that's what gave me the idea to actually do this whenever I was out in the field. And it's also, I believe, I want to say it is, let's see here. You'd think I'd done a little bit of research before I started this, but no, I did not. It is in the SAS Survival Handbook as well. I have to look it up, but it is actually going to be in a couple of other survival manuals. I know it's in the Army Survival Manual, and that's pretty much where, like, the Survival Wisdom and Know-How book has a lot of stuff in there from the Army Survival Manual. So we did the tripod water filter in the book, and the reason I did that is because I have firsthand experience using it. I did use it. I had to use it. My life straw clogged up, and actually, I keep saying life straw, but I mean my Sawyer squeeze, our little Sawyer water filters clogged up. So this water filtration system is frequently found in standard survival handbooks. I know it's in the Army Survival Book, and I know it's in the Survival Wisdom and Know-How. But I went out on a trip, and we were out there for 2 days, and all of a sudden our filters clogged, and we couldn't get no water out of them. And it was a very weird feeling to know that, hey, we ain't got no way to make some clean water. And it takes a while to go ahead, boil water, set it aside, let it cool, then drink it. And I'm the kind of guy to where if I want some water, I'm going to get it right then and there. I don't like waiting. I'm impatient. I know a lot of you listening are, but the idea behind this filter is to create layers for your water filtration system. And if you watched anything, even a couple episodes ago, where I was talking about having handkerchiefs and using the handkerchiefs as the different layers for this system, and using a handkerchief to be the first layer of filtering your water to make it drinkable if you're going to use a commercial water filter. Then I have 3 of them with me, or 3 or 4 handkerchiefs. They don't take up no weight. They don't take up no space, and they're always useful for something, whether it be a rag to take a bath with, whether it be just having a rag to pick up hot objects with, stuff like that. And the handkerchiefs are so useful. They're multi-use items when you get out into the woods. You can get them on various neon red, orange, or, blaze orange, or hot pink, some kind of color that's not available in nature, to where you could do signaling for help or something to that effect. So step 1 with this natural filtration, the tripod water filtration system is that you're going to build a tripod for your water filter. The first thing you need to build is the tripod. And so we're going to cut 3 equal length sticks, straight as possible, and approximately 6 feet long. You're going to lay the sticks down and loosely tie some bait line or paracord or something, some kind of cordage around the end of it. It could be vines. It could be natural cordage that you made. It could be if you found a waste, a disposed plastic bottle and made some cordage out of that. It could, whatever. It does not matter what kind of cordage you tie this thing together with. So what I like to do is tie it loosely around the 3, and then take the middle one and flip it out and over. And when it cinches down, it will clamp down on all 3 of those sticks. And you don't have to sit there and tie lashings and stuff like that. And then you just flip it over and it's good to go. You just do a real loose loop around those 3 sticks. And when you flip that one over, it automatically tightens up. So that's step 2. Flip the middle stick over 180 degrees, and this will tighten up the cordage around the tripod, and you will have it all lashed together. Now, step 3 is you're going to tie your first handkerchief to each leg near the tripod's top. All right, so the first one, you're going to put one handkerchief up at the top. Now, I know a handkerchief has 4 sides, so you're going to make it where it's going to tie in 3 areas. You're going to turn that square into a triangle, and you're going to tie that. And what I typically do is I will take the corner edge of the handkerchief that I want to use, and I will add a acorn, a small rock, a piece of dirt, a piece of stick or something like that into the handkerchief, fold it over, and then put a slip knot on the string on the outside, and that way it'll be secured. The same way you could put any kind of guidelines or tie-outs on a tarp that doesn't have grommets. You could do the same thing using an acorn or rock or marble or whatever. So you're going to do that, and then the tripod, so with the tripod, you're going to drop down about 16 inches and secure your next handkerchief. And then you keep doing that until you have 3 tiers. Now, a lot of people will tell me you don't need this, but you're going to fill the top one with grass. You can fill it with grass. And that's just to catch some of the nastiness or whatever, and it's going to filter. It really has no purpose other than to catch the large debris, the large stuff, and filter out the large stuff through that handkerchief. Next, we're going to pull out the logs from a fire, and we're going to scrape the black charcoal off. We're not going to scrape the white ashes. We don't need the lye and all that in the white ashes, but what we need is the charcoal that is on the wood. It doesn't matter if it is a resinous wood or not. The charcoal is completely burnt wood, and so you want to go ahead and scrape that charcoal off of this wood. Now, you want to get as much as you can. You want a lot of charcoal. So you might be sitting there for a while. Your hands are going to be black. Your equipment's going to be black. You can scrape them right into a handkerchief or some sort or some kind of container. And then you're going to take that and pour it into the center handkerchief. Now you have 2 levels. The top level you have grass. The middle level you have charcoal. Now we're going to get to the last one, sand. Typically by some sort of water source, you can find sand and, find pulverized rocks, sand, some fine dirt, something like that. And typically around water sources, you should be able to find some variation of sand. I know that's not going to be typical of all places. I realize that some places you can have rock shell, something like that, some kind of medium that can filter out the charcoal from the water. And that's all the sand's going to do is just take that charcoal dust back out and take all the nasty out, because the charcoal is going to absorb some of the nasty flavor and stuff like that of this water. Now, You find here in the South, sand is extremely plentiful. We have sand everywhere. Matter of fact, South Mississippi does a lot of sand that they ship off for these fracking jobs. They'll put it on rail cars and send it all over the world, And so, especially for beaches, Mississippi has one of the longest. All of Mississippi's beachfront, I think it's about 80 miles, something like that, is man-made beaches, and it's all sand that they have produced, dug up or dredged or whatever. And then when you get into the woods, the beaches, the sand, is typically by the streams, lakes, rivers. You can find sand everywhere. Now, I know this is not going to be typical for all places everywhere, but sand can be found if you look for it hard enough. All right. So now we got our sand, we got our charcoal, we got our grass. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go collect us some water. And we're going to take that water and we're going to pour it into the top of where the grass is very slowly. And you pour it in, and that water is going to come down, and it is going to go into the charcoal. And then once you go into the charcoal, it's going to pour down into the sand. And once you pour down from the sand, it's going to pour into a container that you're going to have set under the bottom to collect your water. Now, the first time, maybe the first couple of times, it is going to be it's going to be milky color, like a milk colored. Grayish white. And so you just run that back through a couple of times. You can discard it if you want or whatnot, go collect you some more water from somewhere, another water source. But what's happening there is you got to get the charcoal wet, activate to get it to work correctly. You got to get the sand wet to get the filtration system there to work. And so all that milky, nasty stuff is coming from the charcoal on the sand layers. Now, once the water starts coming through there, it's going to be like you'll pour it in at the top. It'll be kind of clear. It doesn't matter. Whatever water you collect from everywhere in small portions when you pour it out is somewhat clear. And, it might have tea stains to it. It might have yellow or turbidity or, whatever. It might have some gunk in there. But once you pour it through and it goes through that sand layer, that sand is going to filter out all that nasty, and it's going to leave you with crystal clear water. Now, this is the same concept that they use for swimming pools. That big swimming pool pump or filter that you got on there is slam full of sand. And that sand is constantly scrubbing all that water out of that pool to keep the water clear, keep the water clean. You have to add some chemicals and stuff to it in the swimming pool to keep it clean and clear for longer, but it's the same concept as forcing water through the sand to clean the water out, to force it out to have crystal clear water. Now, the bottom layer tends to raise the most questions in this is because in the survival books, the sand is the middle layer. Well, in my real life experiences using this water filtration method, I found that it didn't work too well. With the sand in the middle, all the water was charcoal. It was complete black water by the time it got down to the container. And so what we did is we swapped it. All we're trying to do is clean it out of the nastiness. We're not trying to kill any biological contaminants or any kind of contaminants. We're just trying to filter out all the grit, the grime, the nasty, the tadpoles, all the extracurricular activities out of this water. And then we're going to boil this water. We're going to use a commercial filter to actually drink it. So now you have to run it through a couple times, and it will work. I promise you, this will work. I've done it several times, and this method will clean your water. But you have to boil the water. And a lot of times people are like, why would you even do this if you still have to boil the water? Well, to clean the water. The charcoal actually helps improve the taste, and the water will actually help help your water filter last longer by doing this method, cleaning it, and it gets all the nasty out of it. It will actually prolong the life of any one of your water filtration methods, water filtration filters, any of your commercial water filters. So it will actually prolong the life of it. So next, we got the Coyote water well, or the Gypsy water well. I had somebody get on to me, and they're like, "Hey, you can't say Gypsy." I'm like, "Dude, I can say whatever I want. This is my show. See ya." I'm like, I'm so sick and tired of the wokeness and the politically correct bull crap. I mean, come on, give me a break. If you don't like the term I use, go somewhere else, watch somebody else, listen to somebody else. I don't care. I'm sick of your garbage. So it's called a Gypsy well. That's what I've always had it called. That's what I'm going to continue to call it. I had a friend of mine tell me that in Exodus, I believe it was, or Genesis, I put it in the last one, I can't remember. He said, "Hey, during the plagues of Moses," Genesis. So during the plagues of Moses, where they turned the Nile River into blood, the Egyptians would go up and down the river and dig holes to collect water to drink out of that would filter the water to drink it. And so, so he said, instead of a Gypsy well, would it be called an Egyptian well? Yeah, it could be, but water wells are water wells. It doesn't matter. Jacob's well, everybody heard of Jacob's well from the Bible. He dug a well, and, all these water wells were dug, and they dug them down deep. They lined them with something, and they let the water naturally filtrate into these wells, and they put buckets down in there, pulled the buckets up, and drank. And those are common throughout history, throughout the world, throughout every continent on the planet has a water well. 90%, I don't know if it's actually 90%, but we're going to say 90%. 90% of the United States population gets their water from a well. And, people may not realize that when you're drinking some of the community waters out there, you're drinking from a well. They have wells dug that they pump this water up into these towers, and then they add chemicals to the water, and then it comes out to the houses. And it's a pretty interesting thing, but water wells have been around since the beginning of time. And this method right here, the Coyote water well, the Gypsy water well, Egyptian water well, whatever you want to call it, has been around since the beginning of time. Seriously. So first, what you want to do is you want to identify your water source. It doesn't matter. It could be a cesspool somewhere. It could be a creek, river. It could be a mud puddle. It could be some water source. Then you're going to dig a hole about 3 feet away from your water source. Now, if it is clay and dirt, you're going to dig about 3 feet away. If it's sand, you're going to dig about, let's say, 8 feet away. And the reason why is because the sand is a little bit looser, but it eventually will filtrate everything through it. Now, Clay Hayes did a video where I think we posted this on a recent episode where we were talking about this. But, if you take this method and you dig it and you let it settle and you scoop it out and you drink straight from it, you are less likely to be contaminated with E. coli than drinking straight out of the creek, river, stream, lake, bog, or whatever. And so that's what makes this method so effective. And I've used this method thousands of times in my 50 plus years of being here. I have used this method thousands of times, and I have drunk water this way so many times. It's crazy. And this is the way that I do recommend to actually filtrate your water. If you have no water filter way, you have no metal container to boil water, I do recommend you get your water this way because it is the safest of the methods to drink in the wild. And once you've dug your hole 3 feet away, and you dig it till it starts filling up with water, and then you just let it sit. And you let it sit until all the sediment goes away. Now, you can scoop all that sediment out and then let it fill up again. And once it's undisturbed, you let it fill up again, then you're good to go. All right. And so you have a way to drink water. Now, everybody's seen the water bottle or the water bottle filter, where somebody takes a 2-liter water bottle, and they got this guy on TikTok, Instagram, all these. He's a Russian guy, Dmitriev or whatever, but he steals everybody's videos, and he has stolen every single survival video out there, and he's got millions of followers, and every one of his videos were stolen from somebody else. He gives no credit to nobody for no reason and anything like that. He's, it's one of those, he's making money hand over fist, but he don't give credit to the people he steals the stuff from. And one of those that he steals a lot of stuff from is the Woodsbound Outdoors, John over there, but it's all good. We talked to him about it. He's like, hey, there ain't nothing I can do about it. And then I put a video out 2 days later. He's going to make the same video, and so, it's crazy. But anyway, the bottle filter or the water bottle filter, you find a 2-liter bottle. Everybody's seen this done. Everybody's seen somebody make a video of it. Everybody has done it. I've made a video on it. And a lot of it is giving credit to the books that we read it out of, the survival books that we read it out of, because everybody has done this. If you're in a survival space, 99% of you have done this. But anyway, you're going to take a 2-liter bottle or 1-gallon bottle, some kind of soda bottle, something to that effect. And then you're going to put a handkerchief around the opening or the spout, where the water bottle screws on. And then the lid screws onto the water bottle. And then you're going to cut off the bottom or the butt of the bottle. You're going to flip it up where it's mouth side down. And then you're going to fill the bottom third of the bottle with sand. So once again, you have to have some sand for this. You're going to put some sand in there, and then you're going to throw in some charcoal, then a little bit more sand, then some charcoal, then some sand, and then some grass. And so, by the time it's done, it has hit all these layers, and it is filtrating out all the nasty and the extracurricular activities that would normally get you sick, but I still would not drink it. I would still boil this water. All this is going to do is clean the water for you to drink. It's going to clean it, get it rid of the turbidity. It's going to get rid of the tea stain. It's going to get rid of the taste. The charcoal will actually absorb the nasty taste of the river and give it a clean, awesome, nutty flavor. So there you go. All right. So that's it for the water bottle filtration system. You're going to hang it up. You're going to fill it up. You're going to do the same thing you did with the tripod water filter, and you're going to discard the first little bit, and you're going to keep processing your water through there, collecting it in some kind of container. Then you're going to boil it, or you're going to use your commercial water filter. Speaking of commercial water filter, that's what we're going to get into next time, and that's going to be our last subject until the new year. And it's going to be a doozy. We've got a lot of things to talk about in that one, but we're going to go ahead and cover that, and then we're going to take a break till the first of the year. So if you like this, go ahead, give me a thumbs up, and leave a comment, leave some kind of review wherever you're listening to the podcast at. And the podcast is growing. I'm growing every week. More and more people are downloading this thing. More and more people are liking it. More and more people are watching. But by the way, guess what? The Primitive Camping and Bushcraft Blend coffee has now hit the shelves. We are selling this stuff hand over fist. This stuff is flying off the shelves. So if you want some for Christmas, you need to go ahead and order it now, because I can tell you right now, this stuff is very popular. We are extremely excited about this, and I want to thank everybody, the thousands of you that have already come and ordered this stuff, because this stuff is flying off the shelves. I never thought that it would be as awesome as it is, and I really appreciate all the support for this. And we got K-Cups here. And we got the ground. You can select what kind of ground you want. If you want a fine ground, a coarse ground, you want regular beans, you want the coffee, the K-Cups, you want whatever you want. There's different sizes. You got 6 ounce, 12 ounce, 2 pounds, 5 pounds. The beans come in 5-pound bags, and you can get set up on a subscription. That's where the majority of the folks are doing, is they're getting a month-to-month subscription where they're constantly being filled with the Primitive Camping and Bushcraft blend coffee. And like I said, I want to say thanks to the thousands of you that are actually buying this stuff, and I really do appreciate it. And like I said a while ago, if you want some, put your order in now or you're going to be missed out. These are perfect for gifts. This little bag is $8. It is a perfect little gift for Christmas. And so, I mean, this is a 6-ounce bag that I'm holding in my hand, and that is plenty of coffee for a gift. So, all right, guys, I thank you so much for following me along with this adventure, and I really appreciate all the support that I'm getting from you guys. And I will see you in the very next video and in the very next podcast. I hope you have a blessed day. We have so much to be thankful for. God bless you.